pop up.
But you know this shit's fire.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live Pin to Gas podcast. And listen, this has been a long time coming. It's an absolute honor to sit down and have my boy Nicky Mutschler on the podcast, baby. What is up?
How's it going?
It's been a hectic day for me, man. I had to take my son to the dentist and got his teeth cleaned, and then he's getting ready to go get a full mouth of braces, buddy.
Oh man, it's exciting stuff.
Right? Did you ever get braces? I did. I was lucky. I didn't have to have them.
I did get them, but I think I don't know. I got them too early. My teeth moved after a lot, so I had them and I didn't have the benefits from them, so I got the worst of having them, and my teeth moved anyway. So
Yeah, man. Yeah. So Nicky, listen, for those that don't know, man, I ran into Nicky at New Jersey, introduced myself, talked to him and his dad, absolute mega people. So when you guys come to Atlanta, I will be there. Make sure you go by and say hi to Nicky and his dad and show all your love and support to him for him. He is a super talented, mega proper fast, up and coming future champion. So yeah, Nicky, welcome to the show.
thank you so much for having me. I've been excited for all week. I've been stoked on coming on here. I'm super excited.
Dude, listen, it's my honor to have you on here. I'm always just excited as you guys are to be on here. Trust me, I'm ecstatic. That's all I talk about, even at work. I'm like, I got a podcast today with Nicky. I can't wait, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's like, don't you got something else to do? Like, go that way, So I say that all the time because that's what they say. So I can't talk, so I still talk about it as I'm walking away. Well, make sure you tune in, blah, 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 But yeah. So Nicky, listen, let's get into this, man. So how did you come under two wheels? What was your journey from the beginning?
So from before me, so my
Bef-
dad, my dad raced uh, in the early '90s. They had a very successful wear endurance team. That was a big deal back then.
Yep.
Endurance was a pretty big deal. They had some pretty big accomplishments. They won a 24-hour at Nelson Ledges and some cool stuff like that. So my sister, I have a sister who's almost 10 years older than me, and she grew up riding, and then I came around and I was on dirt bike at 5. We messed around with the motocross a little bit and raced BMX. I was always I was never huge into stick and ball sports. It was always riding bikes, and road racing was always, a dream, but it was just that. It's kind of hard for the cards to align to be able to have the opportunity to go road racing, right? So it eventually happened a little bit later on, but just grew up on two wheels mainly, and every Sunday watching the Speed Channel. Back when that was a thing, that was awesome.
Yeah.
They had World Superbike, MotoGP, AMA, all that stuff, and I was always those were my superheroes. It wasn't Batman and Robin. It was, Nicky Hayden. So, yeah. Yes, sir.
So is that why your name is Nicky?
Indeed.
Dude, I knew it. So, funny, my son's name is Hayden Rossi after Nicky Hayden and Valentino Rossi. So,
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
yeah, man, absolutely. I'm a huge Nicky Hayden fan. Fortunately, I've been fortunate enough. I've met him. I can't even count how many times I met him. Got pictures, autographs, got a signed helmet, books. I mean, met his dad, all his brothers, his sister. It was, yeah, man, what a legend, Nicky
Yeah,
Hayden.
it is pretty, incredible what he was able to do.
Absolutely, man. And it was a different time back then, Nicky. It was America could go straight out of AMA and enter MotoGP or World Superbike. Now it's a much harder path.
Yeah, for sure, especially with the US still being a production bike based,
Absolutely.
it makes it tough to go ride prototypes.
It absolutely it does. That's why a lot of people struggle going from production bikes to a stiff chassis, proper racing motorcycle, because the way you ride a sports production soft chassis is what I call a motorcycle that flexes a lot. You ride it a certain way, so you develop this riding style. Okay, so then you start to learn the feel of the bike, and your body movements change it, so you're used to it, right? But those same style won't transform to a super stiff chassis. You got to completely change your whole riding style to get that same feeling out of that bike, and it's difficult. I mean, it's it's like the Spartans fighting the Persians back in the day, 10,000. I mean, that's what it is.
Yep, for sure.
Absolutely, man. So, okay, you got on a bike at 5 years old, right?
Mhm.
When did you start actually say, "Hey, I wanna go to the track"? Did you go to, like, kart tracks or SFL mini GP
No,
or
I started really, really late actually. I knew I wanted to get to the track. It just wasn't even a possibility until, I was like 15 years old and I knew for sure I wanted to at least get a bike. I knew I wanted a bike and my dad, he's been in the motorcycle industry forever, so he's been at different dealers and whatnot. And the dealer he was working at the time, I was 15, about to turn 16, and they had known that I was looking for a bike and, something relatively inexpensive. And they had a totaled Ninja 300 there. And it was perfect. It was just like the plastics were scratched, nothing. It
Yeah,
was a brand new bike, just someone dropped it. And as you know, they total easily.
very
And
easily, yeah.
yeah, so I picked that up from the insurance company for like 500 bucks. And
Win, win, baby.
I had been telling my friends, I probably sounded like an idiot, but like growing up, I was like, one day I'm gonna go road racing. Like I talked about it. I think I manifested it a little bit, but I had this, you know, junky dropped Ninja 300 uh down in the little shop behind the house, and of course had my friends over to check it out, and I was like, this is my new race bike, and it's me and my dad talked about it, and it was a goal to get to the track, at least do a track day, right? It's just a dream. And it's actually kind of crazy how everything lined up. So that next year we were going to watch Moto America at pit race. I'm about 40 minutes away from pit race,
Okay.
and I'm riding the bike up there because I'd been trying to ride as much as possible, and I was really working on not making bad habits. Like I had a little loop by my house with some twisty roads, and I'd be going like 30 miles an hour, hanging off the bike, balls of the feet on the pegs, like because in my head I knew I was getting to the track eventually. I didn't know how, but I knew it was going to happen. And on the way to the track, my license plate fell off. Like I even know how I I don't know how it happened. We use like those plastic little nuts. Those things
Yeah,
don't come off. They like weld
yeah.
together. And hanging out up at Moto America at pit race, and we're messing around and doing slow drags and whatnot. And someone came up to me and asked me if I was doing the track day on Monday. And I was like, I didn't even know there was one. I'd love to, but I don't have any gear. I don't have anything. And it was actually one of the dealerships in the area. And they were like, okay, well, we'll get a spot for you. You'll have a spot at the track day. And they have rental gear and everything. Just stay after Sunday and ride on Monday. And I was so stoked. I was like, this is going to be sweet. And, Monday, we got up in the morning, taped up the headlights, and took the mirrors off. And I was wearing leathers that were like three sizes too big, and boots that were too small, and I didn't have anything. And we did that track day, and it was like as soon as that happened, it was that bike never touched the street again. It was full fledged, like, okay, we're going racing. I showed my dad and my sister enough potential to be like, all right, we're gonna commit. We're gonna give this a shot. And within a couple months, I did my first wear race after that. So
Awesome. So you went from riding to the track, staying after, doing your first track day, and now you entered wear racing, right? And then tell people the journey that the viewers that are going to be listening to this, whether they're doing it now or in the future, that they're just doing track days and they want to come and make it to Moto America. Nicky, so tell them your progressions from wear racing to actually entering Moto America.
So from Wera to Moto America, um, I did the next year after that, I did a full national challenge series with Wera, and basically we didn't know we really didn't know what we were getting into. We were just like we wanted to run a full national series, just jumped in head first, and the biggest thing was learning some of the Moto America tracks and becoming consistent. You know, I was still picking up the basics, halfway through the season, but it was I, I don't even know. It was kind of a weird journey we took. I don't know how well it work out, but yeah, I think the biggest thing is focusing every time I went on to track, I didn't just go out and ride. I went out with the intention of learning something or working on something or trying to mess around with different things. I never just went out and rode. Every time I went on the track, I had a goal of what I wanted to do. Um, Not even just lap times. Like obviously, those are always a goal, something you want to
Yeah.
drop. But whether it was braking, you know, body position, lines, working through traffic, all that stuff was stuff that I was trying to consciously work on when I was on track. I think that helped a lot instead of just going out and riding, you
Yeah.
know. And
It's always good to set goals, Nicky, to something every time you go out there and ride. Even people on the street, right? Every time I go out ride, even when I ride on the street, I practice on something exactly what you just said, whether it's body position, breathing, which is a very big one. It's breathing, right? Absolutely. Because there's times you're out there, you get in the heat of the battle, or I'll be on a track day and I'm like, I just held my breath for like, it feels like 5 minutes, right? And you don't even realize it that you're doing it. And then all of a sudden you get super fatigued or a
endurance
cramp.
racing will help with that a lot too.
Right,
Yeah,
right. But learning to breathe and yes, you're
yeah,
right. That's it's good to practice on some set a goal to achieve every time you hit the track for sure.
yeah. Like we didn't even have transportation to the track when we decided we were doing a full schedule. Like we didn't we I don't think you could have winged it any more than we did. We just kind of jumped in head first, and thank God I had, you know, my dad and my sister who supported me 1,000%. Without my dad and my sister, it'd literally have been impossible. My dad had a ton of knowledge already. He had a great base for me, because we I wasn't running Olin suspension like I am now. My dad was putting heavier weight oil in the front forks, and we were making PVC spacers, and that kind of stuff that helped a lot too. And I rode on uh, a relatively inadequate bike for a long time, which I think helped a lot with now. I kind of can adapt a little bit more, I think. Um, but it was like, yeah, kind of just jumped in head first and had fun doing it. But yeah, my sister and my dad are definitely to
I
thank
love it.
for that first season for sure.
Dude, I absolutely love it. Okay, so you do your first wear a season, okay? And is there a certain amount of points that you have to get in order to qualify to get into Moto
So
America?
I don't know exactly how it works because
They
you
just
have
said,
to.
"Here, Nicky, you're good. Here's your pass. Let's go."
So I won the National Challenge Series championship that year, and I think so. You either have to have a certain amount of expert points or win a championship. I think a national amateur championship. I think those are like a certain amount of points as an expert or winning a championship. There's different criteria for different classes and whatnot, but as soon as soon as that season ended, I applied for a Moto America license. Once again, not knowing what I was getting into, but you know, we
You
we
made
just
it.
keep going.
That's it. That's it. So How did it feel when you got that acceptance? So did they email you and tell you, or did they send you a letter in the mail, or how'd that work?
An email, I believe. And there's a lot involved when you're registering for a pro series. I'm sure of any kind, but with
Yeah.
Moto America, it's a lot more than buying an AMA license and signing up with WERA.
Yeah.
There's a lot involved. So, but once it finally was like when it was approved, that was kind of like a goal of my life, to be a professional motorcycle racer. It's it's cool to say, uh, but yeah, it was very, very exciting.
Man, listen, absolutely. You're a legend, dude. Everybody that races, I tell everybody that races, young or old, on the way out, middle, prime of your life, all you guys are legends for what you do. It's people don't realize the dedication and the sacrifices you guys make just to
Yeah.
show up to the track, just to make every event, just to pay to get there. There's a lot more involvement than a lot of people realize, and you're an
Mhm.
absolute legend, Nicky. You and your dad, man, and I was so happy to run into you guys and meet
Don't
you.
forget my sister, she'll get mad.
Oh, and your sister too. I didn't. Did I meet your sister in Jersey? I don't
No,
think she was there.
no. So, my sister is married to another Moto America racer, uh, Corey Hart. I don't know if you know Corey, but he's a very successful motorcycle racer as well, and she lives down in Georgia now. So
Nice.
she can't make it to all the races. They met my first year racing WERA, so but she can't make it to all the races now. But yeah, she helped a lot. Yeah, she wasn't at New Jersey, unfortunately.
Yeah. Will she be in Atlanta?
Yes, you'll get to meet her. Her
So I
and
get
Corey.
yes. Good stuff. So big shout out to your sister and Corey. What is your sister's name?
Marty.
Marty. Big shout out. Absolutely. Can't wait to meet you guys. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Yeah. So, okay. So, Wera, now you're in Moto America. So, last year was your first season in Moto America, or you just did certain events?
Uh, so technically it was 2022 was my first season. Uh, so we showed up to in 2022, rode Atlanta, showed up, hadn't rode all winter, brand new bike, everything was brand new, hadn't even rode the bike yet. And uh, that's one thing that I stress to people, whether track days, where, or whatever, the skill gap from club racing to Moto America racing, I don't care what class it is, it's it's a crazy gap. Like there's a huge step from Wera to Moto America. So like that was the first thing I was blown away with is like how fast everybody was, And so we showed up there and just trying to figure out the bike and everything and we actually weren't doing horrible. Uh getting used to qualifying and stuff like that. Race 1, I was battling for like 11th place on the last lap, and I crashed in the last corner, which, it is what it is. I was just stoked to be there. I wish I would have finished the race, but yeah, 11th out of like 15 people. So I have to put that out there, make sure it doesn't sound too too crazy.
That's
But
right.
but yeah, so crashed, and then Sunday morning warm up, I had a really bad get off coming out of turn 5. Smacked my head really good. Woke up in an ambulance. It was a pretty big hit to the head, and I essentially didn't get to ride the rest of the year. So that was kind of a scratch, unfortunately. I broke a collarbone, but the head hit was pretty pretty gnarly. I was having balance issues and getting dizzy for months after. It was a pretty good whack.
Yeah.
So 2022 was kind of a scratch, unfortunately. So I went into 2023, like basically my first season. I still had like zero time on the 400, but uh, Road Atlanta again. We did Road Atlanta, Barber, Pit Race, New Jersey last year, and then uh, all the national endurance rounds except for Summit, I think. So
Nice. So you was busy. You had a busy year last year.
yeah, last year, but I finally got to the point where I was very comfortable on that bike and I felt relatively competitive. You know, I just felt like I was always like one step behind, but my times by the end of the weekend, I was always extremely happy with. It was just qualifying is something that's really tough for me and getting good starts. Like I think at Atlanta, and once we got the bike figured out, we were like, that was still like basically the first time riding the bike. But once we got the bike figured out, race two on Sunday, I got down to like a 144, which
Nice.
I was super stoked with. And the next pack in front of me, who was like Ivan Rivera, Chris Clark, Aiden Sneed, all them, they were running 144s. We were like within half a second of each other, but because of where I qualified and my starts, I was never in the group, right?
Yeah.
So that was a big thing I'm gonna work on this year. But we were, uh, but I got comfortable with the bike. We got a pretty decent setup for the bike at some of the tracks, and I feel like I learned so much last year and got a lot more consistent, a lot faster. The endurance racing helped a lot with that, especially because every endurance round was like a mini Moto America round. There was a lot of fast guys there, so
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the head injury, right? It took you a while to come back
correct.
from the
Yeah.
head injury. And I'm sure that was a rough time for you because you couldn't ride. So you didn't get no type of ride, no training or nothing that whole time.
No, nothing really. I
Yeah.
got to do the 2 hour at Barber, the 2 hour endurance at Barber at the end of the year. That was the basically the first time back on the bike. So yeah, it was rough. It was very disappointing to have your first ever Moto America weekend end like that. But I knew that wasn't going to be the end of it. I just knew it was going to be a speed bump.
You said I just had to show up and get my name out there, do a mic drop, and I'm coming back to kick ass in 2023. So you guys get prepared.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And listen, dude, so we got Aaron Dreher in here. What is up, Aaron? He says kick ass this year. Focus, focus, focus. Absolutely. So
Yep.
that's Avery's dad. He's absolutely an amazing human being. It was an absolute honor to meet all the Dreyers at Jersey too as well. And then we
Yep.
have Ben Lee in the house. So Ben Lee is my moderator on my Facebook page. He's a really good friend of mine. He lives about an hour and a half, right, Ben? About an hour and a half. Well, okay, I take it back, maybe 2 hours away from me here in Virginia. And he says, "What's up, Mr. Simcoe? Hearing all those war stories brings many memories. Great job as always." I appreciate it, Ben. Absolutely, my man. So 2023, you show up and you did. How would you rate your season, Nicky, in 2023?
Um, it was it was definitely still a learning season. Like I still was learning so much. Me, my dad, like
Yeah,
everybody, we're just learning. There's so much involved still. Like I still learning a
still
lot.
learning. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, but we learned every weekend. We got faster every session, and that's I'm happy with that. The uh my finishes, I'm definitely not extremely happy with. Obviously, I think I have the ability to finish further up in the pack, and that's something that we're definitely going to work on this year. You know, qualifying is something that's really tough. That's I'm starting to get used to. You know, with Moto America, it's tough to go out with that killer mindset, not in a race. You know, and get
yeah.
hooked up with the right pack of guys, and you know, that's tough to get used to. So that's a big thing I'm going to work on this year. But yeah, it was a good season. I just chalk it up as a learning season.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you did great your first season, right? I mean, you every time you show up to the track, you progressed, you learned something new, and you went faster, right? So all those pieces of the puzzle, it's a puzzle piece, right? So
Yeah.
eventually it's all going to come together, and then you're just going to be absolutely just winning races, right? And yeah, so
God
yeah,
willing.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, you can do it. Like you said, you talk about it, you keep putting those. I'm a positive vibe. You talk about it, you put it out there, it'll happen, right? It might
Yes,
not
sir.
happen when you want it to happen, but it's going to happen, right? So, and then you got, I love to hear stories of families racing. that's absolutely imperative in our sport, right? In the families that are close together, dads, moms, sisters, brothers, cousins, whoever it is, uncles. To me, that's a beautiful story, and you and your dad and your sister, because your dad, I know he working full time, and then the whole weekend going to the race, working on your bike, pit in, pit out, hot pit, cold pit. It's a lot of work. It's a
Indeed.
lot of dedication.
Yes, sir. It's a lot. It's like a second job having a race team, and we're at a very small scale, right? There's a lot more involved. Like there's huge teams. I couldn't imagine, running one of these super bike teams. That's incredible how much work goes into something like that. I get a very small taste of it with what we're doing, and it's amazing.
So 2024, this season coming up, it's just you and your dad and your sister again sometimes when she shows up, or you got
Yeah.
friends that come along and help you every once in a while, or
So, my sister and Corey will be at least Atlanta and Barber and hopefully Mid Ohio. My dad obviously at every round. My pap actually started traveling with us. He's got a RV, so he likes to come and hang out and watch the races and whatnot. But yeah, we're definitely still looking for some help in the paddock. It's a little bit tough to find, but I'm sure we'll find someone that'll be willing to help, asking buddies and whatnot if they want to come out,
yeah,
when it,
listen, absolutely, dude. You should put it out there on your social media. Be like, hey, I'm looking for some help. I can't pay, but dude, you'll have a fun experience. You get to help me out on the track and get to learn a new sport too, as well, right? I mean,
yep.
or will you can stay with us in the camper or camp right outside our camper at the track, or yeah, we'll grill you hot dogs or whatever. Dude, we can make this happen for real. So, like, I'm actually in Atlanta. I'll be working with Ryan Wolf. Big shout out to Ryan Wolf. His mom, Erica, and his dad, David, absolute amazing people. So I'm helping him in Atlanta and in Jersey.
He's wicked
Because
fast.
Oh yeah, he is absolutely. And those are the only two rounds I'm actually going to be able to make this year, as far as Moto America goes. Because let's see, this Wednesday coming up, I'm actually flying out. I'm going to Texas for the MotoGP race, and then I fly
Sweet.
back in Tuesday, and I go to work on Wednesday, and then I wake up early on Thursday, and I drive to my buddy's house in Atlanta because I got to, go to the track and all that good stuff. And then I actually got a podcast schedule that I got to do at my buddy's house at 6 p.m. Thursday evening. So, yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, dude, listen, Nicky, we'll get you some help, man. Well, absolutely will. I'll put it out there too. And yeah, we can make it happen because it's a lot, man. It's people really don't realize. They really don't. You got 20 minutes. You're taking your tire cart, your generator, your extension cords, your pop-up tent, dude, or your table or some chairs, and it's a lot. The bike and the bike stands, and yeah, it's yeah, and you're putting everything in, putting the tire warmers on, checking the air. Dude, I've been there, done that. I know it. I love it, right? I do. Absolutely. I love it. And Erica says, hey, what is going on, Erica? And then my buddy Chris Lewis, all the way from the UK. What is up, mate? Absolute honor to have you back. He says, hey, what's up, Chris and Nikki? Absolutely. And then Erica Wolf also says, I can't wait to see you guys race together. Me too. It's going to be an absolute amazing time in Atlanta.
Is Ryan running Junior Cup?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ryan's running Junior Cup. He didn't tell me, but I'm Twins Cup.
Twins Cup. Okay.
Twins Cup.
I was
Yeah, he's
gonna
running
say, yeah.
Twins Cup. I'm sorry, Erica. It's Twins Cup. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's still going to be, yes, Twins. So, and then Chris Lewis says, believe and achieve, Nikki. Hope for a grateful, successful season for you.
Believe,
Absolutely.
that's a good word with us. We got that on the bike, on the leathers.
That's good. Believe. And then and she said, no Junior Cup for us. It's all Twins Cup class.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what he raced last year when I seen, because I met him too. And actually, they invited me to their camper, and I got to meet his mom and his dad. And it was, yeah, absolutely. I met, man, I met so many people there. But I noticed that you got Bison Leathers back there in the background. I'm a big dude. Listen, Robert and Tasha, big shout out to Bison. I always say it, anybody's looking to get a custom suit, man, they're just the best people you're ever going to meet. Absolutely the best people.
Yeah, they hooked it up big time this year. It's the most comfortable suit I've ever put on, legitimately. Yeah, it's super, super comfortable. I love it. I'm excited. I don't want to get it dirty.
So is this your 2024 suit right there we're looking at?
Yes, sir.
Oh, dude, I love it. Good. So did you choose the colors, or did you just say, you know what, you guys just make something up for me?
We gave them an idea of what we wanted. Stick with the kind of that theme, the red, white, and blue, the Dun Racing wave. The Dun Racing, my dad's best friend. I call him my Uncle Tom, but his last name is Dunn, and that's the original race team is Dun Racing. It's We Are Done Racing, and we're not done racing. So it's the name's a little funky if you don't know the backstory behind the race team, but that's where that comes from.
Well, tell us the backstory on the race team.
Well, like so they were done racing, and we're not done racing
Right.
now.
I
And
get
then
it.
if I ever have kids, it'll be never done racing.
Never done, dude. I love it, dude. That is absolutely awesome. Yeah, dude, that's good stuff, man. And Erica says, we rode last weekend at Road Atlanta. Man, I can't wait. That's one track I've never
Sweet.
been to, and I can't wait to go to Road Atlanta.
I
She
love
says,
Road Atlanta.
yeah, so I've never been. I've been to Road America, which is absolutely an amazing track. I ate some fish there. That was not at the track, outside the track. It was absolutely amazing. It really was. And then Erica also says, Junior Cup is what we were riding Max Van's old bike. Big shout out to Max
Cool.
Van. Yeah, Max is an absolute legend. She said, miss the comma after the no. Uh, Chris said that is wicked. Yeah, dude, it is, right? Absolutely. So yeah, Nicky, dude, I'm looking forward to meeting you guys again and seeing how your season goes in 2024. It's gonna be super exciting. So let me ask you this, Nicky. Some people do, some people don't when it comes to riders, or you don't even have to race motorcycles. It's sports in general. Does Nicky have any rituals you do to prepare for a race? Whether you do stretching, a little workout, deep breathing, meditation, listen to certain music, right boot on for your left, anything like that?
Stretching for sure. I try to I don't have any like superstitions about which boot or which glove goes on. Um, I definitely stretch. I like calmness. I like it to be extremely calm. I don't when people are running around last minute trying to get stuff figured out, that usually stresses me out a little bit. I like it pretty calm, keep it fun. Um, but I don't have any like super crazy rituals. I stay pretty quiet. Uh, just thinking about what I'm gonna do, thinking about my game plan, thinking about what I need to do, you know. So I try to stay relaxed. It's tough to do
It
when you
is.
got a
It
million
is.
things going on, but yeah, stretching that helps a lot.
Absolutely. And staying focused, right? So in a way that kind of is maybe a little ritual, right? You
Yeah.
just said it, right? Yeah, I gotta stretch and I gotta be calm and quiet, right? Chaos going around me. It makes me nervous and anxiety. I got to just close my eyes. I got this. I'm gonna do this, right? Yes,
Yes,
that's
sir.
I can see that, man, for sure. Absolutely. Dude, that's absolutely awesome. So Chris Lewis says, how do you stay relaxed on the grid, Nicky? So when you're sitting on your bike, your sister's got your umbrella, or your girlfriend, or your dad, right? The umbrella girl. What's going through your mind, and how do you stay focused and calm?
Um, once once I'm on the grid and they got the bike on the rear stand. It's just taking deep breaths, sip some water. Uh, Actually, what calms me down the most. I'm usually pretty anxious, and then when Mark Miracle, when he gets to me on the grid, and we have our second together, then after that I'm totally relaxed. It makes such a big difference. I can't even explain to you. I'm like nervous waiting for Mark, but then once I see Mark and once once we have our little moment together, then I'm ready to go. I'm calm, relaxed, comfortable. Usually my sister will try to crack a joke or something to loosen me up, but I'm usually pretty focused on the grid.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's awesome. Uh, are are you into ice baths? Because I love an ice bath. Is that something you do too?
I hate the cold. I don't know that I'd ever want to get intentionally into an ice bath.
Oh, come on, Nikki. We got to do it in Atlanta, man. Well, I'm gonna find an ice bath, dude. Well, yeah. Anyway, we'll
I'll
talk
give it
about
a
that later.
shot. I'll
Yeah, we'll
give it
talk
a shot.
about that later. So, what kind of training do you do to prepare for the race before the race weekend? Do you do supermoto, mini moto, dirt bike, bicycle, BMX?
So, unfortunately, Pittsburgh sucks in the winter. It's very cold and it's usually pretty nasty out. So, try to spend some time down in Georgia with my sister, ride some flat track, um, anything on two wheels, really. Road cycling, I try to do a little bit of. That's something also that it's tough to balance in with everything else going on. But that's one thing I got to start working on more is trying to get the off season training uh, a little bit more. I might be able to go do some woods riding where I live, but not a whole lot, unfortunately. I wish I had the ability to do more, but right now it's just uh, road cycling, and then I've been going to the gym here recently, trying to work on some endurance stuff and trying to make it so I'm not tired after my race.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I get to ride a couple times throughout the winter though on flat track or whatnot.
Yeah, flat track's an amazing sport, right? And it's a great way to train too. It keeps your mind focused and super sharp. You learn what the bike's telling you because it's moving all the time, right?
Yeah,
And you could tell when it's moving that it's actually got grip versus when it's moving and you're like, oh shit, I ain't got no grip, right? Right before that moment, right?
yeah,
Yeah, which is good because it translates to road racing perfectly. I'm a big fan of motocross too, and you got to say, "Oh, it's super dangerous." Listen, what sport's not really dangerous, right? So
yeah.
it's a great way to train. But I see if I was personally a in your situation, man, I would flat track as much as I could,
Yeah.
and I both ways, left and right,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Down at my sister's place down in Georgia, they have a relatively small flat track oval in the backyard and a little TT course. So it's a lot of fun on the little bikes, DRZ 125, XR 100s, and whatnot. So it's it's safe enough for me too. Not super high consequences, but it's the same
Yep,
stuff translates.
yep.
It translates directly over even on the little bike. It definitely get your brain moving at the pace it needs to be at.
Absolutely. So, have you ever rode with Michael Carrere and anybody in SFL Mini GP because they go to the Heron compound too.
No, I don't get to spend much time down there, unfortunately. I did one mini moto race. It was with OMRL, if you're familiar.
No,
It's Ohio Mini Road Racing League,
okay,
and I got a team asked me to come out and run. They had a 4-hour XR 100 endurance race, and that was a ton of fun. That was a couple years ago. We won actually, but yeah, that was a good time. That was
dude.
the only time I ever got to train supermoto, mini moto, anything
Yeah.
like that.
Well, man, dude, if you find your way down there, man, I can put you in touch with Michael Carrere and them, man. It'd be awesome to have you down there and train with those guys because they got a proper mega. So yes, I'm giving a shout out SFL Mini GP Michael Carrere, my man Juju. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you should. I'll link you guys together, and then we have Keith Kelly is in the house. He said that suit looks fire.
Thank you.
Yeah, buddy. What is up, Keith? Yeah, man, I can't wait to see you. So listen, Nikki, we're coming up on 40 minutes on this, right? We've talked a lot about motorcycles. But before we get away from motorcycles real quick, we talked about the training. Obviously, nutrition is very important too, Nikki. So as the season's approaching, do you change your diet at all, or have you already changed your diet? And what type of foods are you eating now?
Tombstone pizzas, uh,
Pizza rolls and bagel bites, baby. Let's go.
sweet tea. No, it's honestly, it's
I love it.
I feel bad saying it, being a professional athlete, but no, it's not good. That's maybe a steak here and there. My dad cooks really good meals, but obviously we can't do that every day. So
Right.
it's just the two of us up here, and uh, yeah. So my diet's not the greatest. I was trying for a little bit. I tried doing the meal prepping and everything like that. I couldn't stay consistent with it, but I do like in the morning. I'll have bacon and eggs before I go to work, and then lunch. We try to do like
Yeah.
maybe uh, sandwiches with fresh lunch meats and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I just I hope that I'm young enough that it doesn't affect me too much. You know, I don't
Yeah.
put I don't
Go
put too
ahead.
much weight on. So
Yeah. Well, listen, training, running, right? Cardo. But dude, I need to hook you up with my man Chef Eats, Jeff Servant, dude. He makes all the meals. He can prep them, dude, however you want. That's what he does. And dude, you throw them in the microwave. It's like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. It's like some of the best food you ever had. Super healthy. You guys don't even have to cook it, buy anything. You just buy his meals. They show up, throw them in the microwave. Boom, perfect for the race weekend. Then
yeah,
you
we'll have
can
to
then
check it out.
yeah, dude, you and your dad. What I'll do is I'll get you in touch with Jeff after this, and you guys can. I'm telling you, it'll help you guys out instead of dude carrying a grill and the meats and all that. Dude, you just carry a cooler in the microwave. That's it. You throw it in the
Sweet.
microwave. He's got steak and chicken, and he sent me some meals, and they were absolutely amazing. So, and he can do high protein, basically however you want to cater your diet, right? Which is very important, Nikki. Dieting is very important. I tell this story, man. I weighed like 260 pounds. I was almost in a 40 waist. I'm down to a 34, depending on the genes, 36, 34. Um, all by changing my diet.
Oh wow.
Dude, just and of course you got to exercise, people, but changing your and fasting. Fasting's been huge too, right? So go a whole day without eating or 2 days without eating or start out 14 hours or 12 hours. So and another thing is like at nighttime, Nikki, instead of eating dinner 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night and then going straight to bed, absolutely not. Your body's wasting energy trying to process that food instead of helping you get your rest your body probably needs and blah blah blah, right? So if you eat, let's say, don't eat nothing after 6 p.m. That's it, or 7 p.m., right? And then in the next day when you wake up and you go to work, don't eat nothing until like lunchtime. And that's your fast for like 14 hours right there. And then you eat lunch and then cut back on your portions. Instead of eating 3 slices of pizza, eat 1 slice of pizza and a salad.
Yeah,
That's
no,
how I
for
did
sure.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how I did it for
I
sure.
did notice a difference when I was doing the meal preps. It did make a difference. I could tell like with my energy and whatnot, it did help. It did. But
Absolutely it does. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So listen, what do you do for a job?
I work at a motorcycle dealership.
I knew it. I with your dad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. And what's the name of the dealership and where is it at?
Pittsburgh Cycle Center, and it's in Pittsburgh. And yeah, there it's actually it might be the oldest standing Honda dealer in the U.S. now. 1958 it opened. Our dealer number is 79 for
Wow.
Honda. Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of history there. It's a pretty cool
Yes.
little spot, and yeah, I enjoy it.
That's so what do you do there, Nikki? Are you a mechanic? Are you a
I
salesman? Are you a
do a little
parts
bit of everything.
man or
I do a little bit of everything. Parts, sales, service, finance. I do a little bit of everything. I'm decent at a little bit of everything.
I love it. So you're like a floater in the motorcycle world, right there. Like,
Yep.
hey, we need this service done, change the oil, clean the air filter. You're like, I got it. Nikki's free. Nikki, go back there and do that. Hey, Nikki, we got somebody up here that needs a bike to be sold. You're like, I got it. Right. You got there and you sell bikes, dude. That's awesome, man. I
Yeah,
love
I
it,
run
man.
around all day is basically what I do. Just running back and forth between departments.
Good stuff. And listen, my man Pat Sheridan's in the house. He said Florida is nice and warm. Absolutely, it is, Bubby. Absolutely, it is. Right? Yeah, yeah. So listen, Nikki, dude, we're coming up on 44, almost 45 minutes. I want to get to my favorite part of the interview. This is where everybody gets to learn all about Nikki, what Nikki does away from racing. I'm not thinking about racing or any of that stuff, right? So let me ask you this, Nicky. What is Nicky's worst habit?
Sleeping. I sleep a lot. They call me the sloth. I have the ability to fall asleep anywhere at any time. I'm pretty good at it, but it's probably not the best habit.
I love it. The sloth. That's great, man. That's great. So tell us something we don't know about you at all, Nicky.
Oh man. Um, I used to be really big into fishing. I still am. I still like to go fishing whenever I have time, but that was a big thing growing up. My mom, she actually lives 4 hours north of Pittsburgh, and it's called the Allegheny National Forest. It's in the middle of nowhere, rivers and lakes, and I grew up fishing in tournaments and stuff like that. So that's a lot of fun. I actually, I told myself this year I'm going to bring a fishing rod with me to every round. Try to I always see ponds or lakes near the track. I'm like, man, I wish I had a rod.
Right. Now stop that. Stop that. So listen, I love to fish too as well. And I've never even said that on a podcast, man. But I went deep sea fishing with let's see, I think I have it right here. I went deep sea fishing with my dad and my cousins, right? A couple of my cousins come in from Thailand, one's in the Navy, and they said, hey, let's go deep sea fishing. I was like, never been, let's go. So I go out there, and I'm a big bass fisherman. I love to catch bass, smallmouth, largemouth, just because of the fight, right? They're just to me, it's the fight, right? So we're out there on a boat, charter boat out there, blah, blah. Dude, I catch a 500-pound blue marlin, bro.
Wow.
Dude, Nicky, and I'm gonna tell you like this. I haven't been fishing in freshwater since. It's like because of that fight, dude. It was, dude, 2.5 hours in the chair. It was, listen, catching that fish was the most physical and mental demanding thing I've ever done in my life. You know how many times I wanted to quit? 2.5 hours. I wanted to quit,
I
but
couldn't imagine.
dude, I couldn't let myself quit. There's no way. Like I'll die catching this fish. That's how dedicated I was, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I feel you, dude. Fishing's a lot of fun. Nothing like waking up in the morning, getting a couple beers, hitting a kayak with you and your buddies with the fishing poles, and just floating the river for like 8 hours.
Oh,
Of
it is a
course,
good time.
that's absolutely a proper mega time. Absolutely, it is. So let me ask you this, Nicky. You can go to any track day in the world, and you can bring 3 people with you. Anybody, Valentino Rossi, Nikki Hayden, Joey Dunlop, whoever they are. What track you going to, and what 3 people you bringing with you to this track day?
Oh man, that's a good one. Right off the top of my head, Portimao. That looks like a really, really fun track to ride. That looks incredible. And I don't I guess we have to go. I gotta bring Corey, my sister's husband, just to, show him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And uh I guess Garrett Gerloff. I'm a big Garrett Gerloff fan.
Absolutely.
Keeping up with his YouTube. And I guess it'd have to be Valentino Rossi.
I love it, man. I love it. What a lineup, right? You can learn so much from every single one of those people, right? It's dude, I love it. I love it. So you already said Portimao, so I'm gonna skip this next question. It was, I'll just read it real quick. If Nicky had his own island, your own house, and all that, what racetrack would you have on your island? I'm assuming it'd be Portimao.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff, man. So Nicky, what's your favorite movie?
Oh, put me on the spot. Uh,
Yeah,
the first one that popped in is Forrest Gump. I don't know if that's actually my favorite, but it's like the first one I thought of, so we'll
I
go with
love
that
it.
one. It's a
Yeah,
classic.
dude, it's such a great movie. It really is. It's got a good story. It's yeah, dude, Forrest Gump. Mine's Top Gun. I got a bunch of favorite movies. It's hard. It's a good question. And it's so hard to be like because things pop into my head, right? So it's
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely Top Gun. But if I had to pick another one, it'd be 300 with the Spartans. That's absolutely amazing. Just feel good. I'm gonna go out there and kick everybody's ass movie, right? I can do this. Yeah. So, uh, listen, I don't read, but I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Okay. Is that something you do too as well? And if so, what book are you currently listening to or reading now?
I'm not listening to or reading one currently. Um, I listen to a lot of different podcasts, and I get big into like the conspiracy theories and whatnot. And
Me
so
too. Me
us-
too, Nikki. Yeah.
usually it's something that's surrounding some sort of conspiracy theory. Uh, there was one, I believe it's called Chaos, and it was uh, with
Is that the name of the podcast?
no, the name of the book, and it had
Okay.
to do with the CIA and Charles Manson and stuff like that.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I like the conspiracy theories.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Me too. I do too. Right. I always tell everybody, listen, keep an open mind and ask questions. Don't just agree or go along with what they say
Yeah.
just because that's what they say. Ask questions, ask why, come up with your own opinion, right? So yeah, absolutely. So podcast, man. What's the name of the conspiracy podcast you listen to?
Well, it's not like specifically one, but I listen to Joe Rogan a lot. I like
Everybody
the
listens to Rogan, yeah.
yeah, I like the comedy podcast. So listen to Joe Rogan, Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. What's Andrew Schultz's podcast, Flagrant
Andrew.
or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those. I like giggling.
Yeah, yeah, me too, right? Absolutely. But I will Robert Lackey's in the house. He said, "What is up, Nikki? What is up, Robert? My man."
Oh,
Yeah, you see the bison right there? Yeah, absolutely. Well, I put my bison hat up. Matter of fact, I'm grabbing my bison hat right here. Boom. You guys see it? There it is. Bam. Love it. Robert and Tasha are absolutely the best people in the world. All you guys are the best people in the world, but yeah, when you guys meet them, you'll totally understand. And then Rick Glover says, just like riding motorcycles, a bad day fishing is better than a good day at work.
yes,
I
sir.
absolutely agree with that. 110%. So Nikki, music. What music are you listening to right now?
Um, it's a lot of '90s alternative, like dad rock, I guess, is some of it too. I don't know. I
Ah,
early 2000s country. I stole a lot of like my taste probably comes a lot from like my sister and my dad and stuff.
he said dad music. I love it. This is dad rock right here, y'all. I love it. There's dad rock right here. Nah, dude, listen, we all grew up to listen to the music that Robert said. I'm offended. That's why I laughed too, Robert. I thought it was hilarious, dude. Dad rock. So I grew up listening to that too. Leonard Skinner and dude Bon Jovi and dude Jackson Brown. And I mean the list goes on and on, right?
Yeah,
But dude, it's to this day, it's some of the most beautiful music still out there.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I listen to everything: country, rap, rock. I mean, you name it. I pretty much jam it out. So it also depends on your mood and the time and the day and all that. Smashing Pumpkins, best of all time. Robert Lackey.
There you go.
Yes, the world is a vampire. Dun 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 dun. Absolutely, my man. I just listened to them the other day. Actually, I was jamming them at work.
I like a lot of Stained, Alice in
Change
Chains.
is good. Yeah, Allison Change. Yeah, here
Oh.
to rock the rooster. Yeah, baby, I'm jamming with all of them. I'm in it, baby. Let's go. So, Star Wars or Star Trek, Nikki?
I couldn't say that I've watched either all the way through, but we'll go Star Wars.
Okay, well then let me ask you this one: Marvel or DC?
Um, Marvel.
What Marvel character would Nikki be?
Oh man, I don't know. I liked Iron Man a lot.
There it is, Iron Man. Yeah, great character. He died in the last one, didn't he?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Iron Man died in the last one, if I'm not mistaken. The end game, I think is what it was called. Yeah.
Can I take my answer back?
Yeah, take it back.
I'm just messing.
No, you can't take it back. Iron Man, man. Iron Man is good. But yeah, I think he did. So listen, Nikki, what is Nikki's favorite food?
Pizza.
So
easily.
pineapple on pizza or no pineapple on pizza?
No, absolutely
Okay,
not. I
okay.
can't.
I like pineapple on my pizza, so there it is. I said it. I do. I love it. It's good. It's good. It's dude. I put pineapple on a lot of things actually. Pineapple, especially if you got something kind of hot, right? You add pineapple to it. You get that like that sweet heat, man. Just pineapple goes good, especially grilled pineapple. You guys slice some pineapple up, throw it on the grill for a minute, dude. It's absolutely amazing.
So
Same thing with peaches.
I tried pineapple pizza again recently. It was pineapple and ham, I believe is what they do.
Yeah,
And I just can't get over the pineapple being warm and like it doesn't work right in my head.
it throws it off, don't it? You're
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be cold, man. What
Yeah.
is going on? Yeah, dude, I feel you on that. I feel you. So let me ask you this because everybody's got one celebrity crush. I have many, of course, just like pretty much everybody else does. But first
Uh,
one that comes to mind, Nikki, who's Nikki's celebrity crush?
let's see. I guess Scarlett Johansson.
Ah, absolutely amazing. She is. Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, what advice would you give your younger self, Nikki?
um,
Not saying that you're old or anything. I'm just saying, since
yeah.
you are where you are, what advice?
Uh, I guess it would be to appreciate like the racing as it's happening and you know not be as focused on the result as you are the time you're having right then and there, like hanging out with friends and
Yeah.
family at the track and whatnot. It's hard to get out of the mindset when you're at the track of, being the best you can, being totally dialed in. I think it's good to try to, step back every once in a while when you're at the track and just be like, I can't believe, like, I shouldn't be here to begin with, So to take time to appreciate it, I think is important.
Listen, it's this is great advice for everybody. You got to live in the moment. It's hard whether you play soccer, football, tennis, road racing, F1, whatever, but whatever it is, it's hard for people to live in the moment. I have trouble doing that, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but I try to remind myself that life is short. Don't take things so serious and live in every moment you can. It's be present, right? At
Yes,
the
sir.
moment instead of thinking, oh, I have a bad result or I'm shit at this corner. And that's all you're focused on. You ain't worried about what everybody says. You're like, whatever, I'm this corner, right? Live in the moment. Yeah, great, dude. That's great advice. I love it. So PlayStation or Xbox, Nikki?
Xbox.
What's in the console right now?
Rainbow Six Siege.
Nice, dude. Nice, nice. So, do you have Ride 5 or do you play
I
World
have Ride
Superbike
4.
or okay,
So, yeah, Ride 4. I play a lot of that. I play a lot of MotoGP. Um, but right now it's been Rainbow.
Rainbow 6.
Yeah, I've been kind
Nice.
of stuck on that. I'm sure I'll be playing Ride 4 Road Atlanta here a lot coming up. It's
That's right.
actually pretty crazy. It's relatively accurate,
Yeah, it
So,
is. Well, dude, listen, we'll have to exchange gamer tags after this and get on there and play. Not tonight, but we'll definitely get on there and play because I play all those games. I got a PlayStation. I do not have an X. I lied. I have an Xbox, but it's an old Xbox, right? I need to get a new one. So, funny story though, real quick. I got me a PS5 last year for Christmas, and I gave Frosty my PS4 with the same games. Oh, Daddy, I want this game. Okay, so I'll buy you the game on your PS4. You go in there and play it on your TV. Absolutely, dude. He's played that thing twice. He goes in there and plays my PS5 all the time. Which, okay, whatever. I don't care. I share it with him, right? So I'm always like, so I had to. It's to the point where I had to buy an extra 5 terabyte freaking thing to hook up to my PlayStation. All his games that he done downloaded on it. So I'm always swapping back and forth between the storages on them just so I get to play a game. But I am. He said, I asked him. I said, what do you want? He's like, I want to get the new Xbox. So I'm gonna buy him the new Xbox. So that way,
sweet.
when my guys have the Xbox and there's not a game that's cross platform, we can still jump on that bad boy. And yeah, get to gaming and make it happen, which I'm super excited about. So, Nicky, who's your favorite road racer growing up, and who is your favorite road racer right now in any category in the world, whether it be MotoGP, World Superbike, BSB, any of that?
Um, growing up, my favorite was most definitely Nicky Hayden. I'm old enough, I'm still pretty young, but I'm old enough to remember watching him, on TV, and that was like to me, that was the coolest thing on the planet, you know.
Absolutely.
And then now Garrett Gerloff, I think, is probably my favorite to watch right now just because love seeing an American overseas, getting after it. He's fast and he's exciting to watch, and I love that he does the behind the scenes and you can watch the videos on YouTube and whatnot. And World Superbike is my favorite championship right now by far.
Mine's British Superbikes.
Yeah, they're good too. Really good racing.
Yeah, well, the only reason why I say that, man, is they're everybody. I'm friends with most of the guys there, but it's they race 240 horsepower motorcycles with no electronics, and
Yeah,
that
that's
to me is the
incredible.
old school proper way of racing. It's the best way to go racing, right?
Yeah.
And that's why. And listen, you can watch it for free. A lot of people don't know this. Bennett's British Superbikes.com. When the season starts, they have a test. I think coming up this weekend is their first official test, and then at the end of the month is their first race in Navarro, Spain. So listen, Bennett's British Superbike.com. You guys plug it in, put it on your phone, save the link, watch it, be amazed. It's absolutely proper. World Superbike is too, right, dude? With a lot of the movement going on. Tap Rack, BMW, Johnny Ray to Yamaha, Axel Bassani to Kawasaki. I mean, dude, Bulaga from the Super Sport up to the Superbike, been kicking people's butts. I mean, dude, what's not to love, right? It's
Yeah.
absolutely been an amazing season so far.
Dad,
All my
I have $40. Can I spend $10? My favorite skin is in the item shop. I have $40.
look, we're talking about Fortnite right now. We just got done talking about
I
it.
have $40. Can I spend 10 real quick?
How much did you spend earlier?
10.
Yes.
Thank you. I love
No
you.
high five. Hang on, turn on my light. You see how he does me?
Hi, guys.
Say hi to Nicky. He's named after Nicky Hayden too.
What up?
What's up?
You met him in Jersey. Didn't you meet my son in Jersey?
I can't
I'm
remember
sure
for
you've
sure.
seen him running around the paddock.
I'm sure I saw him, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he running around the paddock like a chicken with his head cut off. So my favorite racers, of course, was Valentino Rossi, diehard, and Nicky Hayden. But after, Nicky passed and then Rossi retired, Nicky, I find myself that I am the biggest fans of all my friends that are racing all around the world, meaning that I would rather spend my $50 or $40 buying your hat or your t-shirt to support you than I would go to MotoGP, which I'm going to next weekend, and buy Jack Miller and Bagnaia and all them, the guys that's already made it, that gets paid hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars and all that. You guys are the future of the sport. They are not the future of the sport because they're there now. So their time is ticking down, where you guys, your journey is just beginning. So those are my favorite riders in the world. So
Yes,
and,
sir.
and that includes you and everybody else, right? From BSB to World Superbike that I know to the Isle of Man TT to absolutely. Which brings me to my next question. Do you watch the TT?
I watch the highlights and everything on YouTube and whatnot. I'm not super religious. I think it's amazing. I think it's incredible. I love watching like the clips and everything online. I don't I haven't watched it like live in a while though. I don't even know where it was last year on YouTube or something or
Yeah, YouTube. Yeah. I watch it. They have an app. It's called the TT Plus. It's like $25 for the year, right? So yeah, the Isle of Man's only 2 weeks. You get to watch it 2 weeks, all the practice, qualifying, commentary, blah blah blah. But then they also have a bunch of other series on there, like Between the Hedges, which is just one of the best documentaries out there, hands down. Drive to Survive level, it really
Yep.
is. Um, Yeah, so I'm a huge. That's actually my favorite race of the year is the Isle of Man TT. Like, uh, somebody asked me if I could only watch one series a year, what would it be? And man, that's such a hard question, dude. I was like, oh shit, I gotta think about this like deep, and that includes the TT, right? And I'm like, yeah, I still hadn't come up with my answer yet because I'm just so conflicted on the inside, so torn. That one question just tore me up alive on the inside. I was like, oh man, I don't know. That's hard because then I've been
Yeah,
giving up other series. Like, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still undecided on that. But you guys will get my answer soon. But yes, I am. But listen, Nicky, we're over an hour into this, man. And listen, this has been an absolute honor to have you on. I'm so glad we finally got a chance to sit down and do this. I will see you in Road Atlanta. We will schedule our part two. So everybody, part two is coming up with Nicky halfway season, and then at the end of the year, we'll bring him back on too. But before we get off here, Nicky, I need to give you your shout out. So shout out to your team, get how people can find you on social media, all
cool.
that good stuff.
I appreciate that. First of all, just want to say thank you once again to my dad, my sister, my mom, my pap, all my family. They are super important to me. They make it possible. Um, you can find us at Not Done Racing, DUNN, on Instagram, Facebook, and then the people supporting me this year, Woodcraft, Vortex, Bison, Blood, uh, and I have referral links that are going to be in my Instagram bio for Woodcraft and Bison, and I'm going to try to get referral links hooked up with some of the other people supporting me this year. Moto D is another big one that's supporting me. So really, really, really appreciate all those guys. Obviously, it'd be impossible without the lovely people hooking me up this year. And yeah, super excited. I really, really appreciate you having me on.
Listen, the honor's all mine, bro. And I had such a great time, a really good time, as I like to say. And I got that from my buddy Davey Todd out there. I listened to him. This was years ago. He was on my other buddy Dave Neal's podcast, which that's his shirt right there. um he was talking about riding wheelies, and his team was like, dude, you can't be riding wheelies that long because we don't have the oil pump that pumps it back
Yeah.
up into the engine, right? So he was like, okay, so he'd ride a wheelie and then do an endo, because he was like, well, then it throws all the oil back up the front of the motor, and then I ride another wheelie, right? He's like, I'm just out here having a really good time. I was like, what a brilliant line that is. Yeah. So yeah, but absolutely amazing. But before I get off here and before we end this, I got to give my shout out too as well. Big shout out to my man Jake Marsh and the whole RD racing team out there in the British Superbike. He has a club called Club 45. Please go and join him, help him out throughout his season. Up and coming, proper mega fast guy. Can't wait to see him and what he's going to achieve in 2024 in BSB. Big shout out to my man Julian Carrere in the British Talent Cup. He has a club too, Club 40. He's got some slots left. So go over there, look him up on Facebook, and Jake Marsh. Sign up to their clubs and help them guys out. Big shout out to my man Michael Carrere. Yes, that's Jillian's dad, Juju's dad. He runs the whole SFL mini GP down there in South Florida. Absolutely amazing program. Everybody in the United States should carry their butt down there to sunny Florida. And listen, that's all I got to say. You'll have a proper mega willy good time, right? Anybody from little to super big and old that wants to learn how to race, if you ever wanted to drag your knees, please look no further than them. Absolutely. Another big shout out to my man, Bison, Robert and Tasha Lackey, best people in the industry. Listen, and every rider I've had on there that's you guys ever heard about Bison, that's all I need to say. Nothing but love to every single one of you guys that likes and supports me. Listen, I love you guys. Big shout out to my man Martin at the Clothing King.co.uk. You guys can go there and buy all your Pin to Gas merch. I got shirts, hats, soft shell jackets, pullovers, beanies, all that good stuff. But yeah, listen, Nicky, absolute honor, bro. I really appreciate it. I'm so excited to see you and your dad again in Atlanta and meet your sister. Let's go. I can't wait.
Awesome. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Listen, It's an absolute honor. But listen, guys, we're going to end this. Thank you guys so much. Again, nothing but love. Thank to everybody that watched and likes and subscribes and comments and all that good stuff. You know who you are. Until next time.